Chosen one, God has made his decision. You will rule the new kingdom. Are you ready for this divine responsibility? You were never meant to follow. You were always meant to lead. From the moment you were formed, your path was set apart for something greater, something extraordinary. That restless feeling you've had all your life, that deep sense that you were destined for more, was not your imagination. It was divine truth calling out to you. God has chosen you to lead the new kingdom. This isn't just a title. It's a divine mission, a responsibility that carries the weight of eternity. Right now, the world is shifting and the old systems are crumbling. The leaders of this age, the ones who have abused their power and misled the masses, are being removed. And in their place, God is raising up his chosen ones, those who have been refined in the fire, those who have endured trials and emerged stronger, those who have been called to lead with wisdom, compassion, and purpose. That is you, chosen one. In this video, we're going to uncover why God has chosen you to rule the new kingdom. We'll explore what this kingdom represents spiritually, what it means to rule with divine authority, and how to prepare for the incredible responsibility that has been placed on your shoulders. If this resonates with you, like this video and comment 77 below to declare that you are ready to rise. And stay until the end, because the revelations I'm about to share will open your eyes to the divine calling on your life. The rise of the new kingdom is not just the emergence of a new era. It is a fulfillment of a divine promise. This kingdom is not bound by borders or governed by human laws. It is a spiritual reality, a restoration of God's original design for humanity. It is a kingdom of righteousness, justice, and love. A kingdom where truth prevails and light extinguishes the darkness. This is not a distant hope or a mythological dream. It is happening now in real time as the old systems of oppression and deceit crumble before our very eyes. This kingdom, spoken repeatedly in Scripture, is a reversal of everything that went wrong when humanity strayed from its divine purpose. It is a place where God's will is done on earth as is in heaven, a kingdom where the selfish ambitions of man give way to the perfect order of God. In this kingdom, power is not wielded for exploitation, but for service. Justice is not distorted by greed, but upheld by truth. And love is not conditional or transactional, but infinite and unshakable. This is a kingdom God is establishing, and its rise has already begun. But for this kingdom to rise, the old systems must fall. You don't need to look far to see it happening. Everywhere you turn, the cracks are becoming visible. Corruption in governments, greed in economies, manipulation in media, and a toxic culture that has normalized spiritual blindness. All of it is unraveling. These systems were never meant to last because they were built on deception, exploitation, and fear. They were designed to keep humanity asleep, disconnected from its spiritual power, and blind to its true purpose. Look around you. The chaos you see is not the end. It is the beginning. The systems of this world are crumbling because they were never built to sustain truth. Their foundations are being exposed for what they are: lies, greed, and oppression. And now God is stepping in. He is establishing something new, something eternal, something unshakable. This new kingdom is not just a rebellion against the old. It is a complete transformation, a divine reset that will realign the world with God's perfect plan. And here's the truth that changes everything. You, chosen one, are a part of this plan. You are not a spectator in this cosmic shift. You are not watching from the sidelines while the old falls and the new emerges. You are a key player. Everything you've been through, every trial, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt has been preparing you for this moment. The rise of the new kingdom is not just something happening outside of you. It is happening within you. You felt it, haven't you? That shift in your spirit, that sense that something is stirring deep within you, that feeling that you were made for more. That is the kingdom rising. It is the awakening of your true purpose, the alignment of your spirit with God's will. It is the realization that you were never meant to conform to the patterns of this world, because you were created to help usher in something entirely new. This is why your journey has been so intense. This is why you faced trials that others couldn't understand. It's because you were being prepared. The darkness you walked through wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. The obstacles you've overcome weren't random. They were shaping you into the person you need to be to step into your divine role. You weren't just surviving. You were being prepared to thrive in a world that is transforming. The rise of the new kingdom is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about stepping into the truth of who you are and aligning your life with God's will. It's about shedding the lies, the fears, and the limitations that have held you back and stepping boldly into the purpose you were created for. As you do this, you are not just participating in the kingdom's rise. You are helping to bring it into reality. This kingdom isn't coming through political revolutions or material wealth. It is coming through awakened hearts, through lives that are aligned with divine purpose, through people like you who have said yes to the calling on their lives. Every time you choose truth over lies, light over darkness, love over fear, you are building this kingdom. Every time you speak life into someone else, every time you act in faith, every time you stand in your power as a chosen one, you are bringing this kingdom closer to reality. And make no mistake, the enemy sees what is happening. The rulers of this world, the ones who have profited from deception and oppression, are terrified of this kingdom's rise. They know that their time is running out. They know that they cannot stop what God has already ordained. That is why the resistance has been so fierce. That is why you face spiritual attacks, moments of doubt, and obstacles that seem insurmountable. It's because the enemy knows your potential. They see the light in you, and they are desperate to extinguish it. But here's the good news. They cannot stop what God has anointed. The rise of the new kingdom is unstoppable, and so are you. As you step into your purpose, as you align yourself with God's will, you become a force that cannot be ignored. You become a part of something so much bigger than yourself, something eternal, something divine. This is your moment, chosen one. The rise of the new kingdom is not just a prophecy. It is a reality unfolding right now, and you have been called to play a critical role in it. You are not here by accident. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are a builder of this kingdom, a vessel through which God's will is being brought to life. Comment kingdom if you feel the shift happening in your spirit, if you know that you are being called to something greater, to be a part of something eternal. And stay with me, because next we're going to uncover why God specifically chose you to lead this new kingdom. This is just the beginning of your journey, and the best is yet to come. Why God chose you to lead. Have you ever wondered why you've always felt so different from others? Why you've carried a weight in your soul that you couldn't quite explain, a sense that you were meant for something extraordinary? Maybe you looked at your life and questioned why your trials seem harder, your road rougher, your battles more personal than what others appear to face. It wasn't your imagination. The truth is, you were being prepared. God was refining you, shaping you, setting you apart, not for an easy life, but for a divine purpose. He does not choose leaders based on the standards of this world. He doesn't look for the wealthy, the famous, or the outwardly powerful. He looks deeper into the heart, into the spirit, into the hidden places where true greatness is born. That is why he chose you. Not because you were perfect or qualified by human standards, but because you were willing to endure, willing to grow, willing to trust him even when you couldn't see the path ahead. God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. And your calling, chosen one, is evidence of the greatness he has placed within you. Throughout your life, you've been tested. You walked through fires that could have consumed you, but they didn't. You faced storms that could have destroyed you, but they didn't. Instead, they refined you. They stripped away the illusions, the false identities, and the distractions that once held you back. Every heartbreak, every setback, every moment of doubt was shaping you into the person you are today. Each challenge was a chisel in the hand of the master craftsman, carving away the unnecessary to reveal the masterpiece he always intended you to be. Think about it. How many times did you feel like giving up, yet something inside you kept going? That wasn't just resilience. That was divine strength. How many times did you feel like you didn't have what it takes, yet doors opened, solutions appeared, and you found yourself moving forward despite the odds? That wasn't just luck. That was divine guidance. Every step of your journey has been orchestrated by God to prepare you for this moment, to make you strong enough to lead, wise enough to discern, and compassionate enough to serve. This is a pattern we see throughout Scripture. God has always chosen the unexpected to do his greatest work. He chose David, a young shepherd boy overlooked even by his own family, to become the greatest king of Israel. He chose Esther, an orphan with no power or position, to save her people from destruction. He chose Moses, a man with a speech impediment and a past marked by failure, to lead an entire nation of freedom. Over and over again, God demonstrates that he doesn't choose based on outward appearances or worldly qualifications. He chooses those who are willing, those who trust him, and those who carry the qualities needed to fulfill his purpose, even if they don't see it in themselves yet. And now he has chosen you. The world may not have seen your potential, but God did. When others dismissed you, he saw your worth. When others underestimated you, he saw your strength. When others overlooked you, he saw your light. He has always seen what others could not, because he placed it there himself. He saw the courage you would need to face your battles. He saw the resilience you would need to rise after every fall. He saw the faith you would need to trust him when nothing made sense. And most importantly, he saw someone who would not be corrupted by power, someone who would lead with integrity, compassion, and humility. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are perfectly positioned for the work he has called you to do. The trials you've endured have given you the empathy to understand others' pain. The battles you fought have given you the strength to lead others through theirs. The lessons you've learned have given you the wisdom to guide others toward truth. Every part of your journey, even the parts that felt like detours, was preparing you for this divine appointment. But being chosen doesn't mean the road ahead will be easy. Leadership in God's kingdom is not about glory or recognition. It's about service. It's about carrying the weight of responsibility, making decisions that align with his will, and staying faithful even when the world pushes back. It's about leading not from a place of ego, but from a place of love. God doesn't call leaders to elevate themselves. He calls them to elevate others. And that is why he chose you, because he knew you would lead not for your own gain, but for his glory and the good of those he has entrusted to you. Your calling is not a coincidence. The hardships you faced, the gifts you've been given, the awakening you've experienced, all of it has led you to this moment. You are being called to step into a role that is bigger than yourself, a role that will impact not just your life, but the lives of countless others. This is your time to rise. Chosen one, not because you are perfect, but because you are ready, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the one who does. Have you noticed how your perspective has shifted recently? How the things that once mattered no longer hold the same weight? How the things that once seemed impossible now feel within reach? That is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. It is a stirring of your spirit as God prepares you to take the next step. It is the alignment of your soul with his purpose. It is the realization that you were made for this. This is why you've always felt different. This is why your journey has been so unique. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were always meant to lead. And now, the time has come for you to step into that role fully. The time has come for you to embrace the calling on your life, to rise above the doubts and fears, and to walk boldly in the purpose God has given you. Comment chosen if you know that God has called you for something greater. Declare it, claim it, and step into it, because this is just the beginning. In the next section, we'll explore what it truly means to rule with divine purpose. What does it look like to lead not as the world leads, but as God has designed? Stay with me, because what's ahead will give you the clarity and strength you need to fulfill your destiny. You've been chosen to lead, but what does that really mean? How do you step into this role with the wisdom and strength it requires? The answer lies in understanding the spiritual nature of leadership. Stay with me, because in the next section, I'm going to show you what it means to rule as a chosen one, and how to lead in alignment with God's will. If you're still here, subscribe, share this video, and click the super thanks button to support this message. This is just the beginning of your journey. What it means to rule spiritually. Ruling in the new kingdom is nothing like the leadership we see in this world. The kind of leadership glorified by society is often built on power, dominance, and self-interest. It's focused on climbing higher, achieving more, and being served by others. But in God's kingdom, the essence of leadership is entirely different. It is not about ruling over people, but ruling within yourself. It's not about control, it's about servanthood. To rule spiritually is to embody a leadership rooted in humility, wisdom, and love. True leadership in God's kingdom begins with the heart. It's about aligning every decision, every action, and every word with God's will. This alignment is the foundation upon which the kingdom is built. Unlike worldly leadership, which often operates through manipulation or fear, spiritual leadership flows from a place of peace and purpose. It is driven by a desire not to elevate oneself, but to uplift others. As Jesus said in Matthew 20, verse 26, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." Think about that for a moment. The greatest leaders in God's kingdom are those who serve. They are the ones who see the needs of others and respond with compassion. They are the ones who put aside their own ambitions to ensure that those they lead are cared for, protected, and encouraged. To lead spiritually is to understand that your authority is not about control, but about stewardship. It is about recognizing that the people God has entrusted to you are not there to serve you, but to be served by you in love and humility. To rule spiritually also means walking in wisdom, and wisdom in its truest form comes from seeking God's guidance in every step. Spiritual leaders don't rely on their own understanding or instincts. They turn to God for direction. This kind of leadership requires discernment, the ability to see beyond what is obvious and into what is true. It means asking God for clarity when decisions are unclear, for strength when the burden feels heavy, and for courage when the path ahead is uncertain. But perhaps the most profound aspect of ruling spiritually is being a light in the darkness. In a world that is often overshadowed by fear, hatred, and deception, spiritual leaders are called to shine brightly. They are called to reflect God's love and truth in every aspect of their lives. This is not always easy. The darkness will resist the light. The world will push back against those who lead with integrity and compassion. But a true spiritual leader does not shy away from a challenge. They stand firm, knowing that their purpose is greater than the opposition they face. To lead in this way is not for the faint of heart. It requires strength, discipline, and an unshakable faith. There will be moments when the weight of leadership feels overwhelming. Moments when the people you are called to serve seem ungrateful or resistant. Moments when the path forward is so unclear that you're tempted to give up. But this is where the true essence of spiritual leadership is revealed. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about staying committed. It's about trusting God to guide you, even when you can't see the way ahead. Imagine for a moment the life of Moses, called to lead an entire nation out of slavery. He faced unimaginable challenges. The people he led doubted him, complained against him, and even rebelled. Yet Moses continued to lead, not because it was easy, but because he trusted God's plan. He didn't rely on his own strength. He relied on God's. And because of his obedience, an entire generation was brought closer to the promised land. This is the kind of leader you are being called to be. A leader who doesn't lead for personal gain, but for the glory of God and the good of others. A leader who doesn't give up when things get hard, but presses forward with faith. A leader who inspires others not by words alone, but by the example of a life lived in alignment with God's will. To lead spiritually also means understanding the power of humility. In the world's eyes, leadership is often associated with pride, with standing tall above others. But in God's kingdom, the greatest leaders are those who kneel in service. They don't see themselves as better than the people they lead. They see themselves as vessels through which God's love can flow. This kind of humility is not weakness. It is strength. It takes strength to put others first. It takes strength to admit when you're wrong. It takes strength to lead with compassion in a world that glorifies dominance. This kind of leadership is also deeply fulfilling. To rule spiritually is to walk in the fullness of your purpose, to live in harmony with God's plan, and to make an impact that echoes into eternity. Imagine leading in a way that transforms lives, that brings healing where there was pain, that inspires hope where there was despair. Imagine knowing that every decision you make, every action you take, is contributing to the rise of God's kingdom on earth. But spiritual leadership isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are. It's about becoming a person who embodies the values of the kingdom, a person who radiates love, peace, and kindness, a person who others can look to and say, there is something different about them. This kind of leadership starts within. Before you can lead others, you must allow God to lead you. Before you can guide others into the light, you must allow God's light to transform you. The journey of spiritual leadership is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is a journey that requires sacrifice, but it also brings unparalleled joy. It is a journey that demands faith, but it also deepens your relationship with God. It is a journey that challenges you, but it also changes you in the most beautiful ways. This is what it means to rule spiritually. It means stepping into your calling with humility, wisdom, and love. It means aligning your life with God's will and allowing Him to guide your every step. It means serving others, not because you have to, but because you want to. It means being a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope for those who are lost. Comment lead if you are ready to step into this role. Declare your readiness to lead not as the world leads, but as God has called you to lead. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about how to prepare for this responsibility. Spiritual leadership is a divine calling, and the preparation is just as important as the role itself. This is your time to rise, chosen one. The kingdom is calling, and you are ready to answer, preparing for your new role. Preparation is essential. You cannot step into fullness of your calling without first being shaped and equipped by God. And make no mistake, God does not call those who are already equipped by the world's standards. He calls those whose hearts are willing, those who trust Him enough to let Him do the equipping. You see, the journey you've been on up until now, every experience, every triumph, every tear, has been part of your preparation. But now, it's time to actively step into the process. Now, it's time to partner with God as He refines you into the leader you are destined to be. The first step in preparation is recognizing that this process is holy. It is not simply about learning skills or gaining knowledge. It is about transformation. When God prepares His chosen ones, He doesn't just change their circumstances. He changes their hearts. Think of the story of Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned for years. From the outside, it may have looked like Joseph was stuck, that his dreams of leadership had died. But in reality, God was preparing him. In that season of hardship, Joseph developed the character, wisdom, and resilience he would need to lead an entire nation through a famine. The same is true for you. Your preparation may not look glamorous. It may feel like a wilderness season, a time of waiting and testing. But beneath the surface, God is doing something extraordinary in you. To prepare for your role, you must deepen your relationship with God. This is not optional. It is a foundation of everything. Leadership in the new kingdom is not about charisma or talent. It's about alignment with God's will. And the only way to stay aligned is to stay connected. This means prioritizing time in prayer, not just to ask for things, but to listen. It means meditating on His word, allowing it to guide your thoughts and actions. It means inviting Him into every decision, every step, and every moment. Without this connection, you will find yourself relying on your own strength, and that is a burden no leader can carry for long. Comment prepare if you are ready to embrace the preparation process. Declare your willingness to let God shape you, refine you, and equip you for this divine responsibility. And stay with me, because in the final section, we'll talk about what it means to lead humanity into a new era. This is your time to rise, and the best is yet to come. Leading humanity into a new era. Your role is not just a lead. It is to guide humanity into a brighter, God-ordained future. This responsibility transcends personal ambition or individual goals. It is part of divine mandate, the very essence of the new kingdom. This is not simply about holding a position of power or influence. It is about embodying a purpose so profound that it shifts not only your life, but the lives of those around you. The new kingdom, which is rising even as we speak, is a world where truth, justice, and love reign supreme, a world that reflects the heart of God. And as a chosen one, you are not just a participant in this kingdom's emergence. You are a leader, a guide, and a beacon for those who are seeking the light. Imagine a world where people are no longer bound by the lies of the enemy, no longer enslaved by fear or lost in cycles of confusion. Imagine a world where justice is not just an ideal but a reality, where love is not conditional but abundant, and where truth is no longer hidden but revealed. This is the vision of the new kingdom. It is not a distant dream. It is a promise. And you, chosen one, are an integral part of making this promise a reality. God has not called you to lead for your own sake. He has called you to guide others, to be the bridge that connects those who are lost to the hope and freedom found in Him. Leading humanity into this new era is no small task. It requires you to live boldly in your purpose, to fully embrace the calling that has been placed on your life. This means walking in alignment with God's will, not just in the big moments, but in the small, everyday choices. It means standing firm in your identity as a child of God, even when the world tries to shake you. It means being a light in the darkness, illuminating the path of those who cannot yet see the way forward. But being a light is not always easy. Darkness resists light because it exposes what has been hidden. As a leader in the new kingdom, you will face resistance, not just from external forces, but sometimes within yourself. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the weight of your responsibility feels too heavy to bear. You may question whether you are truly capable of guiding others, whether you are strong enough, wise enough, or equipped enough. In those moments, remember this: God did not call you because you are perfect. He called you because you are willing. He called you because you've been refined through trials, strengthened through struggles, and equipped through His Spirit. Leading humanity into a new era also means speaking truth in a world full of lies. It means having the courage to stand up for what is right, even when it is unpopular, even when it comes at a cost. The world is full of voices that seek to deceive, to distort, to distract. But your voice, chosen one, is different. It carries the authority of God's truth. And when you speak, chains are broken, strongholds are dismantled, and lives are transformed. Your words have power, not because of who you are, but because of the one who speaks through you as you lead. Remember that your role is not to force people into the light, but to guide them gently toward it. Leadership in the new kingdom is not about control. It is about service. It is about meeting people where they are, understanding their struggles, and showing them a better way. Think of Jesus washing the feet of His disciples, a profound act of humility and love. That is the kind of leader you are called to be. Someone who leads not from a place of superiority, but from a place of compassion and grace. Someone who understands that true power is found in serving others. This is not an abstract concept. It is a daily reality. Leading humanity into a new era means living in a way that inspires others. It means showing them through your actions what it looks like to walk in faith, to trust God, and to live with purpose. It means being the kind of person who makes others feel seen, valued, and loved. When people look at your life, they should see a reflection of the kingdom you represent, a life marked by peace, integrity, and hope. But let's be honest, this path is not without challenges. The world is full of brokenness, and as you step into your role as a leader, you will encounter that brokenness in many forms. You will meet people who are hurting, people who are angry, people who are lost. You will face opposition from those who are invested in the old systems of power and control. And there will be times when you feel the weight of it all pressing down on you. In those moments, lean into God. Remember that you are not leading in your own strength, but in His. His grace is sufficient for you, and His power is made perfect in your weakness. Leading humanity into a new era also requires vision. You cannot guide others if you do not know where you are going. Spend time seeking God's direction, asking Him to reveal His plans for you and for those you're called to lead. Trust that He will provide the wisdom and clarity you need. And when the path ahead seems uncertain, take it one step at a time, knowing that He is with you every step of the way. Come and guide. If you are ready to embrace this calling, declare your readiness to lead humanity into this new era, to be a light in the darkness, a voice of truth, and a source of hope. You were chosen for this. You were prepared for this. And now, it's time to step into your destiny. Stay with me, because what lies ahead is not just a continuation of your journey. It is a fulfillment of your purpose. You are not just a leader. You are a guide, a builder of the new kingdom, and a vessel of God's divine plan. The time to rise is now. Let's walk this path together. Chosen one, God has decided you will rule the new kingdom. This is your time to rise, to lead, to walk in your divine purpose. If this message resonates with you, like this video, share it, and comment "I am chosen" to declare your commitment to this calling. Subscribe for more messages like this, and remember, your leadership is not just needed, it is essential. You were chosen for this. Now, step into your destiny and lead the way.